Well, hello, 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 and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All depends on when you watch me. This is Jolene with the Joe Design, and we are here with probably a Thursday craft and chat. I tried to do some work on this lovely little stacked envelope idea that I wanted to talk to you guys and work with you guys. And the video was weird, and I was just off, and nothing was going as planned. So it looked like a real mesh and mystery and just disaster. So I nixed it, fixed what I was working on, and got it prepped and ready for hopefully a more decorative, exciting little video for you guys. So we'll try to keep it sort of quick. I think I know what I want to do, so we'll get going on it. And then let you go into the next week. But I did want to share, since Monday was a little bit of a digital reveal and things that are in the shop. I got these done on Monday, but not in time, of course, to add it into the video. And so I wanted to show you really quickly my newest. Let's see if it's in stock. I had to zoom in, so we'll see. Anyway, these are vertical grunge typeset word sheet. I have my standard vertical vintage typeset word sheet. It has 30 words, nice and vertical, really pretty and cream. All your pretty much standard words. And I came across one of the tattered treasure backgrounds when I was doing a bunch of stuff. I thought, that would be sort of cool to sort of grunge up, darken up our word set. So I went ahead and replaced the 30, did a white outline, did white text instead of black, just so they could see it, and picked a little bit more grungy, manly word set, but still glamping, gorgeous, kindness, creative, beautiful, but things like leather, grunge, manly, industrial, punk, inked, distressed, the word journal in general, like hello, bohemian and bold, quality, master, handmade, crafted, forest, woodlands, stunning, fairy, things that I've seen a lot of you guys work on, and things I thought inspired me to okay, when we use a little bit grungier, a little darker, a little dirtier, definitely more distressed, what words could we use? So I thought it'd be a great new set, so the volume 2 to the vertical typeset series, I'm going to call it now. And this is my grunge. So it is out in my Etsy shop. I'll try to remember to create a direct link down below in the description for this exact set. But of course, my link to my shop is down below. You can click on it, and it's right there. You can check on the word ephemera category, and it's in there along with everything else. So make sure you look for the darker ones with the white words. But there are the lighter colored words that I have done for, ever, with the black text. And those, of course, I've sold over 500 of those suckers. And they're very popular. Everybody seems to find them. So I figured, well, let's get another variation out there. So there we go. All pretty fun. It's 30 words, and 20 of them are repeated. Because it's always, hate to use it just once, right? I'm never going to use it again. So today we are working on a stacked, stuffed, flipped envelope project. I wanted to take some pieces, like we said before, left over from the original Ephemera book page, ordeal. And I feel like I'm way over here for once, and it's so weird. I'm so used to having to work way over there. I don't know what to do with myself. And I just realized, I don't know if I can do this without totally screwing this up. I got to take my do not disturb and stuff on there so that no one bugs me, and I'm like, eek! There we go. So I wanted to take some of the pink stuff that was in that kit that we went mostly green and purple on, and I wanted to play with it and make another, a pretty piece of ephemera that was different. So this is the outside envelope. It's my clutched, scalloped purse envelope. So far I've already glued some lace to the top of it so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to do. And I think what we're going to do is do another blue and lace based coin pocket that came from the Blue Victorian kit. We're going to glue it on top where it's just enough to just barely tuck the top in. But what we're going to do is we're going to glue it so it opens up, and look, it's another hidden tuck. So it's going to have all these little ephemera pieces in it. I use the bottom piece up on a piece of wrapped paper that we use inside, put some lace on it, and then went ahead and just tucked in some ephemera pieces. Okay, it came from one of my kits. Okay, but this way it leaves you a little bit of room to decorate. You could decorate, you could write, who knows. But the goal is to be able to, once I get it glued down, just sort of tuck in that back corner, hopefully, and away we go. Now, as you saw, I'm going to put we're going to tie it with ribbon, and then I'll glue it down to where it doesn't get loose. And when we flip it open, you bring it back together and you can tie it together. So there's that concept. But what started it all on the inside was I had some similar pieces and I wanted to do something on the inside. So I've already distressed it all the way around. And I took my large tags that I make them 3 up on a page. I cut it in half of the rectangle, leaving, of course, the top of the tag is sort of that extended overlap. And I Velcroed it together, right? So we have this cute little hide-a-hole double door concept. And underneath, oh, Kiki, what you doing? Is going to be this little, I didn't want it to glue itself together last night. So anyway, I took the smaller little doohickey that I have. I had another envelope that's a simpler version. Hey, Kiki. And we glued it down, and I'm leaving the tabs. Nope, stay there. And we're popping it open, and we have this cute little pink notepad. I say notepad, but it's a note paper. There we go. It's a big letter paper, note paper. It's notepad's what it sounds like. Should be like a notepad. But I tried to put a thicker piece of paper in here. It wouldn't stick. It didn't look good. I made a complete mess out of it. And I wanted some variants. So since I'm putting a bluish color on the outside of the pink, I needed some pink inside of the blue. So I just took one of my distress papers, or eco-dyed papers that I had bought. Tea-dyed eco, but I don't know what eco, I think they're eco-dyed, because who knows what the pink is, what was used to make the pink. Probably Kool-Aid. And we're just going to tuck it in. Now, Kiki, stop. You have to sit in your spot, honey. She found a weird little nook in my work box, and she thinks she should go be able to sit on it because there's things that are crocheted and stuff there. So she thinks there's a blanket in there for her to play with, and there's not. So we have this tucked in here. So we're going to cover this with lace so that we have some extension. We've got this. I need to decorate this up a little bit. We may want to enhance this some, you know, add some stuff down here, add some stuff here. But I love leaving this out because it made it easier to open, right? So I thought it was a fun idea to use the envelopes, you know, a little different than usual. I love my envelopes, but I really always like the idea of utilizing it and, you know, turning it into something else. So the tabs here, you know, the journal card was glued to the tabs, and the paper in the tabs and the tag were covered with more paper, so it sort of blends better. So you can't see the white, and it's just attached with Velcro. So I want to put buttons here. We want lace here. I'm going to put lace here so that when it is open, these 3 holes have some lace behind it. Just really lace this thing up. But I just thought if you kept opening it, you can keep finding things to do, and it was just really well decorated, hopefully. I am debating on adding maybe a little bit of this, maybe like half of it with the lace overlap, just to enhance it. And that would have been great if I thought about it, which was my problem all day yesterday when I was recording this, was if this happened to go up underneath here, but it would just stop and blend. So if I want that look as if it hides under there, I could glue it right up to it. So it looks like it goes that way, but doesn't mean it's actually going to. So I could do that. But then it would be here and it would fold here, and that might not work as well. So we'll see. All right, so I'm not sure whether to work on the inside first or the outside first. Probably the inside first because the outside's going to get a little bulky. Are these cute? I found these little things at Walmart the other day. They come in all kinds of different colors, and I'm hoping they're going to help me with the binding. I'm running out of stuff, so when I want to work on sewing in my signatures, that they're going to be a little bit more helpful. Because I've been using these guys, but they're really little, and I lost a bunch of them. A couple of them broke over the year probably with the hot and cold, and other things. She did make a mess out of stuff, didn't she? She moved all kinds of things around when I wasn't looking. Yeah, so anyway, just fun stuff. But anyway, I wonder if, ooh, that would be fun to add a little pink to that. And we could do it at an angle. Just something else to tuck in underneath. But yeah, we're going to bring pink in, blue out. I grabbed some other greens and pinks and things that came from the envelopes. You know, circles, whatnot. Oh, some more vintage words. Things to help enhance and add to. I know I need to do a nice little cluster on the outside. So these little things I thought would work. And I do have some pink labels too. Everything else was pretty labeled heavy on the other one too, right? So I have some things I have to remind myself that I have to add to. And go from there. So big thing first. How are you all doing? Thank you so much for joining me, coming along, hanging out. Thank you everybody for watching the video on Monday with everything that I have in my shop. And now my biggest dilemma is that when I cut it, I want to make sure we see something here. And that's sort of my word. Like, I don't want it completely blah, where you just see this little netting and nothing else. I do want to see a little something. So I'm probably fussy cutting this in a place where I'm putting it on and then I'm trimming it off, which, yeah, we know how that goes. It's a little temperamental, but trying to cut it to match, maybe hard. So what are we up to, ladies and gentlemen? We are trucking along, of course, in our month. It didn't take long. Oh, you want to stay, Kiki? Guess she didn't want to see no box. Last night she came out. I was trying to videotape, and it just wasn't going in my favor. So, of course, near the end of my videotaping, she comes out. And I don't know, I think I was already done. I was doing this prep work because this was not going as planned. And the coloring was off, so I definitely have to keep it at vivid. I definitely have to zoom in a little bit. I thought maybe at nighttime would make it easier, but last night was nighttime and nothing was working. Felt like the lights weren't bright enough. I don't know. It was weird. It was very, very weird. I was back to having problems again last night. But yeah, she came out near the end, and so she was like, well, I'll sit in the box. I'll be a good girl. And she sat in her little box. Her little nap box that I have for her. Because I was like, nope, you can't be in here, honey. Or where I'm, right where I'm at. But then I'm in the kitchen, and I'm all done, and I hear this thunk, which is my glass jars clinking up against each other. And I really thought it was our bag of glassware to recycle. And I'm like, what is she getting into now? So I come out here, and she's trying to get in. I have a gap about yay big, yay big or so, underneath before all my cabinetry. And I have, like, cords in there, and I have, things sat in there, including some Afghan fabrics. I've got some crocheted arm warmers and stuff. So I don't know that she just thought it was like a blanketed area and that she should just go under there. I was like, no, come out here. And she's like trying to backset, trying to figure out how to get out of there without making a bigger mess. So I think like that when it's trimmed, it's going to be really pretty to be able to see a little bit of lace overlapping what's already there. That was my thought. Okay. I'm going to carefully cut this and cross her fingers. So yeah, I'm like, Kiki, you can't be in there, honey. That's not what it's there. So that's what she was going for this morning. She's like, I shouldn't say this morning, but when I'm recording here. She's like, but I want to be in there. And I was like, no, that's not for you to be in. Now, I am zoomed in, so I'm not going to know. I'm hoping I'm not going to be off camera too much. All of a sudden, it seems like everything is out of whack. Like, and it's still a little bit of a, go back a little bit. I guess I do want to be able you guys to see things. I am so dark. I am so light. I'm like, I see all this light and I can see everything really well. But, so I got down here. Yeah, well. Well, gonna have to work it for a while. I don't know what else I'm gonna do. I know it doesn't make it extremely exciting. I'm hoping when I'm cutting this, it's not gonna, okay, good. Making sure that when I'm cutting this, it's not gonna end up too high up. Oh, but I think we're gonna put a little bit of a doily down here anyway. I want layers. I want texture. And I think, no, not this one. The other one. What's in the back side? Give me 1 second. Sorry. Plus, it just helps, bring lace in. This lace here is this lace that was scanned in, and it's on the pink one, too. So, that's sort of fun that there is a part of what I'm doing. The physical thing that is scanned in is actually right there. It's a little off, a little rough, but I think it's just a nice addition to it. Give some layering. And I still really do want to give a little something here. So this one I think I will cut, though. I'm going to cut this one. Hoping for the best. Because then if I want to add another layer of, what's the word? Like ephemera. A number, a word, something in here. When you open it up, you get to look at it. It's almost where I'd want to, like, do that or something, wouldn't I? Because if I do that, that pulls from this flower here, which is what it's from. I can even trim it flat so as to not get in the way and layer it that way. Ooh. Or do I added in here. Don't really want to get in the way. I'll think of something else there. But I'm really liking this idea. If I just trim it straight, I'm liking. Let's make sure it's not upside down. I have a tendency of doing that, but even my paper doily is upside down. Okay, so let's. So yes, how is February treating you all so far? Is it going well? Is it crazy? Is it, what's up? How is it all doing? February's going okay here. Got taxes done already, which is hopefully all good so far. Looks like everybody approved everything I did, so yay. New year, a little weird. A very interesting set of paperwork to do this year, so. I mean, it wasn't really crazy. Like, I would have thought it would have been a lot weirder, but it actually went pretty well, all in all. So, I'm like, all right. I think next year will be even less paperwork, really. Unless something weird happens this year in 2023. Let's not even go there. Never mind. It's all gonna be fine. It'll be much easier to deal with. Unless, of course, my business just skyrockets in some crazy manner. Then, of course, yes. We want that kind of crazy, right? You want the good crazy. Now, I don't know what makes a difference if the fabric tack or the glitter glue on this end, it is a paper going onto lace, which the lace is on top of the paper, so probably it's just easier using the fabric tack in this case so that it doesn't not stick. But I have some wiggle room for mistakes because there's bound to be a little something. Yep, I felt centered, and I don't feel like it's sort of centered on this. There we go. I feel like my bumps are off, and that's what I think is bugging me. Oh, Kiki, you can't go outside right now, honey. Yeah, she wants out. She was out a lot yesterday. In and out, in and out. And this morning it was really cold, so she was not really in the mood to go out. She went out, and I think someone else in another backyard. Someone was in the backyard, and she's like, yeah, no, I don't want to be out in that. Oops. But, today she's like, I haven't been outside yet. I'm like, and your point being, I can't record, and, ooh, it came out really easy. I have a brand new bottle. So I cleaned out my little silver thing last night, because that was the other problem. I had no glue in the other bottle. So, I'm like, that's not going to help me. So I cleaned out my silver thing, and, opened up the bottle, and all that jazz. There we go. No, I saw that there was a pencil mark in there, and I don't think I can get to it. Eek! I'll have to get to that later. Oh my god, I think there's a pencil mark in there. Now the question is, I did not ink here or here in this square, so I don't think I want to, because I want some. No, I take that back. This one I would want to ink it, because there is a difference. We can see the difference. Like, we know that there's a decorated edge when the other ones are pretty all together. There we go. So we will distress this because this is a separate entity, but these look all more like they're blended together. So we're not going to do that. Of course, I am now gooing out because it's the first time I've used the bottle. All right, so we have that. We have this. It opens up pretty in pink. Now to keep that pretty in pink, I could. Where's my? There it is. Let's see. I have some roses here, which I could put the pink in. There was debate on distressing some of this stuff when I was cutting it. What are you doing, baby girl? Pressing up against. I think the funny thing is she's so used to being outside, my cat, that parts of her doesn't know how to be inside. There's a sense of a need to do certain things. Hey. And she has a thing for scent. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am putting something here so that I don't distress underneath it. So I'm going to put a rose here, and that's green. There's my pink. I'm like, where's my pink? Really pale pink. We're going to get a burnt brush. I don't think these poor things are not going to last much longer. They're Michaels. And they're okay, you know, these are the Michael, like, dollar whatever. And if there's any other color on this, it's not going to last long, but there we go. She's being silly. So I figured we can do a little stamping of inking here, ink stamping of flowers, roses, to help give it a nice little offshoot. Doesn't mean you can't write over it, doesn't mean you can't, you know, still decorate more. But I thought we needed a little something. I don't know how much of this is pink and how much of this is like distressed. I just realized it looks like it got a little bit of distress mixed in. But I don't mind it. It's really pretty. Okay. You can get in, can't you? She's being silly. She's like, I don't want to go in. I don't know how to get in. You want a little help? Okay, there you go. Alright, so go in before you get hit by the door. In. Oh, she's being stubborn today. Yeah. Okay. She's got a little bit of newfound freedom, and she's, you know, she's testing it out. So I do want a little more in here, I think, but I'm going to go very lightly. I don't want to over pink it. There we go. Yeah, I want just that hint of something going on. Now everything in here was, you know, was backed with a really pale cream distressed paper. But when you cut it, you really can't tell unless you put another piece of white up against it, right? So, there we go. So we have a little bit of something there. So it's not completely empty. We've got that. So when you open it, oop, all right, okay. So when you open it, you know, so we've got this, and it does that. So you open it up, you see a little bit of something. You open this, you've got that. I do need to put something there. Now I'm going to put a teal blue. Is that pale blue? That's a pale pink, but it's a little short. Okay. Got to find something to put there. I feel like where the opening for the hole is, it definitely needs a little something. All right. I am going to just try to, because there's so much here, try to see if I could score it a little bit, but maybe not. Because what we're going to do is we're going to use buttons. We are going to button this and then tie and glue down and tie some string around it to keep it closed. So I thought that'd be pretty on that side. I do want to put a pretty teal. We're gonna put pearls instead of that one. We're gonna put this pretty thing on the side of this one. I found these. I love the fact that I found all this fun stuff when I was cleaning stuff out. Really stoked about that. Because now I go look for one thing and I find something else. I go, oh, that's right. I just found those. And I'm all stoked. So this is sort of a tealy blue, which again, we're trying to overlap the teal with the pink and the pink with the teal. So even though this is a, you know, these are pieces from, they are pieces from both the pink Shabby Rose. They're from the pinker papers from the Garden Stroll. And then you've got, you know, the blue pieces that are from the Blue Victorian. So we do have a nice little variety, but they all have similar traits, and so they work really well together. Sorry, I am trying to fix off camera here. Some of my dots have some weird placement, you know, over time. They were doing weird things, but I didn't want to lose. I found one. I was like, well, I don't want to lose it. Alright, so there's that. Now, I don't know if that's enough. It doesn't seem like enough. Oh, I thought it would be a little bit bigger, but that's okay. We'll keep working on it. Went ahead and distributed. My mom was running out of pink buttons, and I was like, oh, well, I have a hoard of them when I had my daughters. When I was first doing my oldest is my first, her scrapbook. Everything was in pink. Pink, green, blue, purple, whatever. You know, it was all pink and stuff. Even though she wasn't going to be a pink girl whatsoever. Come to find out. She went a little bit of purple, and then she went blue. Alright, so I was thinking that there. And if I have the room, I think I'm going to put pearls in it. I think I'm going to go pearls. There's an edge here, so I'm going to put pearls on the edge. And I definitely want to put pearls around the buttonholes inside of that. So I'm not going to waste time with that, though. But we are going to glue those on. But what I do want, now that it's dry, because I wanted to make sure last night because it was cold, I'm going to trim off the lace. I do actually want it a little off. I want it a little ragged. I don't want a perfect clean on the lace end. I want that texture. I want that messy, lacy look. There we go. I love it. And we're going to use it here on the other side. So there are a couple pieces here that we're going to utilize both ways. I want some lace down here. And I'm going to want, off the camera, there we go. And I'm going to want definitely some lace lapped over this. I just got to make sure which angle I want to do it at. Probably like that, and we'll trim up around it like we did on the other side. Because then you're going to put the buttons and the pearls, and you know, we're gonna bring it across. I like the fact that we have one lace on the outside over this really pretty floral. It's, yeah, you have to look at it. I got all kinds of different layers underneath this garden stroll. That was a lot of fun to make when I did it way back when. Okay, so let's flatten this out a little bit. Still a mild cough though. It's temperamental. It's like, depends what I eat. So funny. The smallest thing of what I eat, and then it's like, that's gonna bug me. For the most part, I'm like 95% better, which is great. But yeah, I wish it was a little better than that. Let's see. So yes, cold, wet, not as what we expected. We've had a very little rain. I was really hoping for more over this past weekend. We didn't get enough of it. It's like we got a little here, a little there, got it when we weren't expecting to get it. Stuff like that, just really weird. Wasn't what we were expecting at all. I was like, man. Started a lot earlier for us on Saturday than expected. It was supposed to be like into Saturday evening, and it started at like 3 or 4 o'clock north of where we live. We were running errands, and I was like, oh, it's raining. Lovely. That's going to be fun. I don't want to be doing that. But every time I went shopping this weekend out to get groceries, it would rain. You know, I was like, oh, come on. Oh, well. So we ran errands and the on and off rain, and then, but yeah, I mean, it did rain, but it would rain and like a cloud would go by and dump for a few minutes, and then it would just keep going by, and we'd have sun. And you're like, okay, all right, I guess it's not flooding. I guess it's happy. You know, I guess it's good. It means it gives everything time to absorb. But I don't know. I was really looking forward to an actual rainy Sunday, and it really wasn't that. Really wasn't the rainy Sunday I was hoping for. I was like, I'm gonna do the fire, and I'm like, nope, never mind. I did start the chores. I did start the taxes though. I was like, okay, well, maybe good, maybe not. I don't know. I really want to distress the lace, but I don't want to lose what I may have just accidentally cut off either. So there we go. We'll distress it a little bit. We want the other side, but I want to do it the right way so I know what I'm looking at. Sort of pretty. Oh my goodness, I like all the different corners for this that this is going to show up on. It's really pretty. It has a sort of almost a silvery look to it. It's iridescent. If you could flip it upside down, you can really tell it's, one side is definitely better than the other, as I found out, but, and hopefully I did not just put it backwards. There's a silverness to it, either way, but I just realized I may have had it upside down. Huh. Well, this one works out for me, so we'll see. That one's right. I think the top one I put upside down. Yeah, oh well. It's texture. Texture's texture. Lace is lace, I guess. Of course, you're doing an applique or something, you definitely want it in the right direction, but like I said, forgive me if this is constantly out of whack. I'm so used to working closer to me and over there, over to my right, and with the replacement of everything, it's definitely moved in more. Cleaned up my Happy Planner stuff, so I think I'm getting a little bit more room now that things are sort of cleaned up. Alright. Let's see. Sorry, my voice is going all of a sudden. 1 second. I hate that whole throat clearing thing. Give me a moment and I'll get some water. That might take care of the problem. Eek. Alright. Okay. So there's that. The front's really pretty. We've got that. Now to work on the front though, I won't put the buttons down quite yet because it's definitely going to make it bulky, which you can feel. You can sort of feel it here in the middle with everything on the underside. I really feel like it needs more bling, and I will probably get to that whether I do glitter, whether I add a lot more pearls to things. I will find things to accent while I'm working on it. Depends how many pearls end up in the buttons will determine. Now, this is what I'm just struggling with. This is what took me quite some time yesterday and did not go anywhere. Was trying to figure out what to do with this and how to deal with it. So in the end, I ended up making that little ephemera pocket. I want it enough to where, I mean, it's going to be closed. It is going to be tied shut, but that doesn't mean Alright, so let's do this. I'm going to try to tie myself a bow. Haha. And it is offset for a reason, because I want to make sure I can just cut off what I don't need and not waste anything. I don't want it too tight. But, you know, make sure I leave enough for anybody to tie it or... Hello. Eek. I am the worst tire of bows. Mine usually go right upside down, like right side. Like it goes vertical instead of horizontal when I'm done with the bow. I don't know why. No matter how hard I try, doesn't quite always work in my favor. Let's see. Hold on one sec. There we go. Ah, ta-da. Ish. Once I tie it, it's not bad. Usually then I can like make it work for me. And I don't want too big of a bow. I do want it off to the side. I want to offset it so I'm not blocking too much of her. There we go. So now I can probably, oh, that's all that's left. Okay, so a little bit of that, and we have a little bit of lace. So I see a cluster in the future here. I'm going to see a cluster. All right, so what I need to do now, the only downside is I have this was tied on something else. Of course, you save everything, right? There's no way for me to really iron it out right now. I'm trying to see if I can do the whole side of the paper. Oh, that worked. Okay. Using the edge of my table to sort of iron it like you would with your edge of the scissors to help create a curled ribbon. I'm sort of doing the reverse and using the edge of my table, sorry about the sound, to flatten it out, and that worked nicely. Okay, so because whatever I do, once I tie this and glue it down, I won't be able to undo it. So I want to make sure it's really where I want it to be so that whoever uses it doesn't feel like they're struggling the whole time. We don't want that. We don't want anybody to struggle. Okay, let's do that. And tie it around. Because that was my biggest thing, is I was trying to debate on how to close the envelope on the inside. And of course, you know, this idea popped in my head, of course, after the fact. It's still sort of long. That doesn't mean it's not doable. But I might cut it. Once I think it's done, I think I will cut that one more time. I hate to do that, but I don't want to make it too big. But I do want that pink accent out here. Okay, so now the fun part is deciding where I can see it. The goal is to do it to where it just barely can be tucked in, like we did the back. We're going to be able to tuck this in to keep it from flapping around. So there's that. And then doing this in such a way that this is getting glued, but I'm not gluing that down by accident. Let's see if we can do this. That's the right one, right? Yeah, that's the other thing. I had it all tied. I had it all done, and I was like, oh, that's the wrong flap. Like, that's not going to do me any good. And I don't even need glue up that high. I just realized either. So we're going to wipe off some of that. And we're going to go glue across here because we don't want that to move either. I don't think. I could let that move. But I don't want it to come out by accident either. So I don't know. I just realized I do not need glue all the way up here. I do not need that much glue. I can always puff it in there and figure it out, but I don't want that much. Mostly on the bottom. Mostly down here. And yeah, I really don't want the ribbon to move much. Because I need to be able to open and close this and this stay put. So, you see there's no glue here and there's no glue on that ribbon because I do need to be able to open it up. So and that's the reason why, oh, right there. Well, that was cutting it close. Alright, so maybe, this is going to be the fun part, where I am trying to decide, and I'm going to lightly, and then over a little bit. May have to stick some glue under the edges here when I'm done. And everything, of course, is very bumpy. Let's see. Let's open this up for a second so that I can press a little bit better. I did move it over because I did want some room here to cluster under and over. You know, a little bit over here. I can't go over, huh? Because when I open it up, it's going to bend. So I want to be able to cluster here underneath it, like it's just layered on top of other things. So the goal would be, if I did this right, Hee hee hee, right? If I did this right. Eep. Yep, okay. Is that's, you know, there. So we're gonna do, I do want a little bit of room under there to tuck. I was not wrong about that. Let's do this up here a little bit. I need a little room though. I just realized to tuck it in, so let's not go too crazy on the glue. I do need room to tuck. If there's nothing to tuck into, it's gonna be a problem. Okay. Oh, I hope this is fun for you guys. I tried to work out as much bugs as I could. I was trying to show you guys a process video and work with you guys, but trying to work it out was getting really bad. So look, there you go. Okay, so let's cross our fingers all the way to Sunday here. Yeah, see, what I don't know is if I got enough, if I over glued anything. I don't want it to stick, so we don't want to make sure it's not too glued. Okay, so you're definitely gonna want to tie it down, because otherwise it is going to stick up quite a bit. I think I have to also remember how to tie this. I think I need more. Alright, let's do that for the moment. And I probably will not cut anything off. So, okay. So, it's definitely busy, right? Now, I never thought about doing it this way, where I kept it in place, but that's not pretty. No, we can't do that. Okay, yeah, no, I don't want that. Duh. I was like, wait a minute, am I doing this? Yeah, I'm doing this right. Okay, and the buttons are going to keep that from going away. You see that from the back side, which I could put a little something here to distress that, to decorate it, but we don't want to make it too hard to tuck in later. Because really, you could just go here, pull the stuff out of it, and never have to actually untie it if you didn't want to. But we do need a little, I need a border piece here with some lace and ribbon. Ooh, there we go. We could put the lace, here we go again. I have to straighten that out. Okay. Let me guess. I'm probably pretty busy on my time frame too, but I hope you guys are enjoying this. How are we doing? Oh, 37 minutes. Okay. So we could put some lace or some this here. We could do some lace I can cut off, make it sort of messy. We're going to do a few little things here. We're going to make this sort of messy cluster, cut around it, ordeal. We'll trim it accordingly. And then I can either put the word, well, I could decorate it from the back side. Put the word vintage on there, make a little cluster, but enough to where it's not going to hinder the flat. But it'll give us some more decor on the back side. Because then, like I said, I'm going to cluster here, right underneath this, so that it is nice and, you know, pretty. And alright, so, as I realized earlier, make sure it's nice and tight. We're going to, always remember you have to do, the one you're going to wrap around and, you know, tie, make sure it's a longer piece. I always forget that, and I'm like, nope, you need to make sure the longer tail is the one that's doing all the work. There we go. For the most part. Okay. I think my tail's getting in the way. Just so funny. Tail's getting in the way of my actual bow. Okay. I don't mean it can't get sort of loosely tucked that way. Alright, so it sticks out a little bit because it needs to. The only other thing I could do, I could glue down the ribbon just a little bit so it stayed in place. So I'm looking underneath. I'm actually physically looking underneath to see where things are in the way and where things aren't. I'm using my bone folder. I'm just going to press on the ribbon and not the paper because I don't want the glue to come through the ribbon and actually attach itself accidentally to, you know, the card. So if you don't know if you can tell, got the bone folder in here. I'm pressing down on the ribbon. That sticks out a little bit more. So when you open it, you'll see the ribbon, and you know it'll pop this way, which is totally fine. So it might just work. So now I can clip it and not worry about it sticking too terribly. Let's do that. Keep it down so the ribbon can finish gluing down, which is fine. We can flip this inside out. We're going to work on it upside down, and then we'll just probably decorate this little guy up here. And then, I don't know, I guess I'll have to let you guys go. I don't want to go too long. I have to decide whether I want to do a second video and we finish decorating. But that might be a little boring for you guys. I don't know. I have a feeling we need to keep to different projects and different layers and different, like, stages. Like I said, I was hoping for a process video really quick on Tuesday of how I got to the base pieces. Haha. Which, like I said, I'm using a coin pocket that fits ephemera and little fussies in it. Using it to flip it out and still have, you know, fussy cuts in it. Or ephemera in it. I do have that going. And then, oh no, we're doing this part, huh? So actually, if I do this right side up, it'll be right side up there too. Good, okay. Trying to decide if I want it offset. How do I want to offset everything? Remember, we're going to do this nice and messy. Yeah, I was debating on the process video, so at least you could see me use the base pieces, put it all together, and then we would decorate, you know, here on Thursday. But yeah, I was hemming and hawing, and I was just having the hardest time with all of it. That I was like, never mind, this is a really bad video. I'd rather not have a video for Tuesday than have, you know, well, a terrible one, and no one wants to watch it. I know the coloring isn't always perfect, and I can't always control every aspect of that, I'm afraid. If it was a good video, it's a good video, right? But, yeah, no, I was like, let's see if we can work around it. So, it's okay. We now have something going, and that's all that matters. But yeah, I use the coin, what I call a coin envelope, or ephemera tuck holder, and I use my big scalloped envelope, and I use one of my smaller ones that isn't as scalloped on the ends, for my original, you know, design, which matches this, actually, which is not that bad to cut, but it was annoying at first, so, you know, what can you do? You know, and that one on the inside is just used to, you know, fold up and hold a piece of note paper or eco dye paper, you know, to write a letter on. Write a little note on, have some ephemera in it. It's a cute little piece. This is not overly anything. So we don't want it to get in the way. I like that it's sort of ripped, but we want to make sure it's not perfect. But it isn't getting in the way of being tucked either, so. I'm just creating this cute little cluster of ribbon and fabric that we are using in other aspects. We're using it here. And then, you know, we'll tuck it in and make sure that this gets all clustered properly. Oh, so I'm making a request here. I'm running out of things to watch on TV. I have all my normal things that I watch, I guess, or used to watch, I don't know, at some point. And, you know, I'm getting through the usual, you know, NBC, CBS, you know, ordeals. And then I'm, like, rewatching Witcher because, you know, we watched it forever ago. And I watched the origin of the little 4-series ordeal. And it didn't make a lot of sense. I was watching it and I'm like, what are they talking about? Why? What is all this? Didn't put 2 and 2 together. I really was hoping like the creation of The Witcher and what it all was going to come into play. And it didn't really work for me. I thought it seemed a little far-fetched. But I thought, well, I'll rewatch Witcher and maybe like some things will start clicking in. And a few moments click in. But they were pushing it. I think they were wanting something to do in between waiting for season 3 and 4 to come out. So it's like they were trying to make something just to make something. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Now, again, a little bit of a push, but it'll help once I'm not holding this down. There'll be a little bit more wiggle room. And it looks like the ribbon's going to help with that. Perfect. Okay. So we have that. Let's add some, gotta add some things to that because you can't not have. So I'm rewatching Witcher, I'm already into season 2, so I'm hoping they're saying this summer, it's supposed to be season 3. And then I think they close out the storyline and create it and start a new one with the Liam Hathaway, or Hemsworth actor. A new Witcher's coming into play, I think, if I heard correctly. But yeah, I'm like, okay. So I do like the actor. He's Superman. He plays Superman, and you know plays the Witcher character. So, I do enjoy watching him. You know, do what he's doing, all broody and broody and whatnot. But I'm sort of running out of other things. Like pretty soon, we're going to be at, before we know it, the standard season's going to be gone, and I'm going to need all new summer things to watch. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. Okay, well, that's a nice little combination. It helps bring the pink here. We've got the blue here, so probably pink and blue here. I'll have to find a few more blue pieces maybe to tie this in. I'm going to have to find, because, I mean, there is this, which is not a bad thing. There's a circle there. There's a stamp that can be done. I mean, if I really wanted to stick out and I wanted to overlap, I could do this more pink. But I don't know if I want to put more pink on here. Let's see. Whoops. I feel like this should always be tucked in. We'll see if it stays that way, of course. I can't keep it tucked in, but give me that. All right. Yeah, it's my tying. If I could do a better tie job, I think it wouldn't be so bad, but I don't tie well. There we go, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Okay. I don't really want to block the girls. That's the other thing. I'm blocking the girls, which I do not like. Okay. So without it being off page, I'd have to trim it to make it look like it's underneath. Put a circle up here. Remember, everything has to be underneath because I really don't have room. I can add this to the cluster down here. Well, that's what I have to work on. I guess I'm going to have to show you guys later what I ended up with, how I ended up clustering this, because I could take forever figuring this out. This is, I hadn't gotten this far. I need to stress all this. I have a round over the stamp on a stamp in that corner. I like the idea. So I like this idea. Like, I'm going to purposely trim it to tuck under. Circle her underneath, even if it's just like a half circle. Oops, there we go. You know, sort of force it out, tuck it under, and we'll see where maybe a partial label up here. So we got some maneuvering to do, definitely on the front, to sort of enhance this and make it a little bit taller, a little bit more workable. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen. So as I'm decor to do, I will totally show you all of it when I'm done decoring it. Didn't get super far with the decorations, but I did want to show you what we were up to, where we put the lace, a little bit of decor, and how this is, just keeps folding out and has this cute little hidden note, note paper. It's not a notepad, but, note paper tucked in all pretty. Little decorative piece. All hidden, all pretty. Gotta be decored. Then, this opens up. There's ephemera inside it. So when it's undone, you can open it and take out any more pieces that you may need or want. Stick your favorite ephemera in here, cute little notes, little quotes, whatever you see, that'll fit your fancy. Tuck it in, retie it. All right. I may not make this a bow. Oh my goodness, right? I'm so tempted to cut this short and not make it a bow. But, someone else might want to make it a bow, so we'll see. All right, so there we go. Is it sticking? It's holding good. Make it tight. We'll decorate up the front, and away we go. So a nice little stacked envelope pocket with the hidden journaling space inside. Pretty bows, a lot of pearls to come, more lace, and a little creativity using up what you have in your stash. So love y'all. Thank you so much for watching, liking, loving, commenting, and hitting notifications so that you know when I come up. Trying to keep to some consistency, and of course adding more and more digitals to the mix as we go and getting back into that groove. So like I said, we have the new vertical grunge typeset word sheet that's out in my Etsy shop, along with the journal calendar journal cards, which I have a project coming up for these guys this month. I want to work on, show you guys something with these. So these calendar cards, instantly backed, are also in my shop, along with the decorated coffee sleeves and the green and purple decorated pocket fold over. That will be perfect in anyone's botanical journal. So thank you so much. Hope to talk to you guys all very soon. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Bye-bye.